Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm going to be running through today how I'm going to go about competing in my first ever bodybuilding competition. So, scary to say this out loud, but I've now been training. The first time I ever picked up some weights was when I was 13 years old. Played around, joined a gym at 16, then left that gym, then rejoined the gym again after about a year of no training when I was 18. Trained inconsistently, reading like Flex, Muscle and Fitness, bodybuilding.com forums, or like even this, like OG Kai Green memorabilia. I did everything under the sun other than actually step on stage, so I feel like it would be a disservice for me to never actually compete in a bodybuilding competition. Now, for those of you that don't really know much about my background, obviously where I've been coaching now for like, what, coming on 8 years? I'd always been a coach, and in the last 2 years I've been mentoring online fitness coaches to build their business. From doing that, from stepping into mentoring, I'm incredibly busy, incredibly busy. So it's kind of bodybuilding for a time went on the back burner. However, for those of you who follow me on Insta, the last like 18 months, I've been quite unquote a lot more locked in, a lot more consistent with my training, a lot more consistent with my nutrition, held accountable by a coach, by 2 different coaches actually, both phenomenal. But you know, my current coach at the moment is kind of taking me through my photo shoot prep, which you guys would have seen on my socials. And if you haven't, just go to George Lewinsky and you'll see it on there. But honestly, really happy, really happy with the results from that, you know. Certainly the fullest I've ever come to a photo shoot for, because like my previous 3 photo shoots, every single one of them, I pushed myself so hard right until the point of the shoot itself. Number one, I didn't have enough muscle. I mean, there's no such thing as photo shoot condition, right? But if you want to like look your best, trust me when I say this, like when people say, oh, you know, I lost muscle during the diet, more often than not, you just didn't have enough muscle to begin with. And that's a harsh reality of when you are dieting for a prep or a show or whatever, for a photo shoot. So anyway, I felt that this photo shoot was the best ever representation of my physique, and I think for a few reasons. Number one, my off season was way better. My training was way better. I feel like although things were incredibly stressful because I literally moved from the UK to Dubai, plus running events, plus I hired 6 staff members during that time. And you think, oh, well, you hired 6 staff, so it's things off your plate. I will say to you guys, those of you who are coaches on here, when you hire a staff member, the mistake that you're all making wrong is that you hire them and expect them just to get on with it. I will not let someone work within my business unless I've trained them myself for 30 days. That sounds excessive, but it's why we have killers inside Coach's Corner. When I say killers, like if I got hit by a truck, they'd run the business for me, you know? That's the point of hiring staff, is you want them to be fully integrated within the business. But anyway, hiring 6 at the same time was incredibly ADHD of me. I don't regret it, but oh my word, doing that plus normal work was tough. It was tough. So anyway, yeah, the prep itself was the hardest prep I've ever done. I had to dig very hard at the end. Notably just because, well, one, with the workload, it was silly. Like, I don't think I'm going to ever have to do that again. Just where I was fatigued and whatnot, like I was waking up in the morning about 3 o'clock in the morning. I would work from 3 a.m. till 7 a.m. So it'd be 4, 5, 6. So I'll work for 4 hours, have my first meal, go for a walk, come back, go to the gym, come back again. I'd then be completing check-ins with clients from like 9 until about 12. I'd then be like building new plans, creating content and stuff. I'd then be jumping on calls with people. I'd often be finishing my working day at like 6 p.m, 7 p.m. So like genuinely, when you do the numbers in your head, I was doing those hours at least 3 days a week, plus the 12-hour days that I normally do. So it was fucking intense. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. I wouldn't. This isn't me glorifying working that many hours, by the way, but sometimes, just sometimes in business, you have to do crazy shit. And like I say, I'm not promoting that, I'm not glorifying that, but it's gonna sound arrogant, but I'm gonna say it. Unless I was just an idiot and I wasn't focused on the right things, it would have been physically impossible for me not to evolve in that 60 days that happened. Both physically, mentally, professionally. Like, it would have been physically impossible unless I was just, nice bloke, bro. It would have been physically impossible unless I was just completely focusing on the wrong things. And thankfully I was focusing on the right things, so things went good. Like, the business literally fucking overdoubled during prep, so that was crazy. Anyway, so from post shoot to now, we're only up 0.5 kg in 2 weeks, which I'm really happy about. I have had food poisoning though, so that's kind of been like a bit of a fucked up hack that's happened, because if anyone who's ever had food poisoning, you understand what happens to your gut. Not looking good, Rev. So yeah, it's kind of been annoying because I've not been able to train all of this week. I literally had like 4 or 5 days in a row completely off the, I've had 5 complete days off the gym, and I'm now back in for upper and biceps. Hold on. Upper and triceps, followed by biceps, then lower, then a rest, then upper, then triceps again, followed by biceps, then into lower, and then rest again. And I'm auto-regulate whether I train 4 days per week or 5, so I can train like Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then if I feel up to it, I could rest Saturday, and then go in on Sunday. But we're just going to play that by ear for now, guys, because again, just kind of breaking things into kind of post-photo shoot, still looking to build calories up and whatnot. But anyway, for those of you who are curious of my calories, they're currently just 2,500. I'm eating the same on a training and non-training day. I'm not sure if I said that at the start of the video, but same training and non-training day. You might be thinking, why? I'm busy, guys. You know, it just makes more sense for my lifestyle. The goal now is I essentially have, so I've already been gaining or in a surplus for half of August, okay? So we've already done a couple of weeks. We've then got September, October, November, December, January, February, March, maybe April. We're not sure yet, depends on what shows we're looking at and kind of where things are at for me personally. But we're gonna have at least 7 months of gaining, which is one of the shorter off seasons. Like, I think typically most off seasons will last you anywhere from like 9 months plus, but you know, it's what we have. It's what we have to play with. So we're just dealing the cards that we're dealt. So we don't have that much time, and so because of that, there is certainly like a sense of urgency. I don't have time to fuck around. I don't have time to miss sessions. I don't have time to miss meals. And now, like, we are stepping from this being a hobby and this being something that I like, this being something that I just kind of go and do and kind of go for the motions, to I am now an athlete. You know, I'm now going to be competing against other athletes. I'm now going to be turning pro in business, and what I mean by that is not go get a pro card. I mean treating this like a job, and I don't think that's going to take away any part of the enjoyment from it at all, because I absolutely love this shit. Like, I have no issue training tired, training hungry. I have no issue pushing myself into the gym. I have no issue committing to these sessions, and you know, despite the fact we're running the mentorship and kind of having all these staff and all these clients and everything going on, like, I don't struggle to find time for the gym, because it doesn't even cross my mind that I wouldn't go, you know. So it's just who I am at this point. So in terms of shows, we are going to be looking at shows most likely September, October, maybe November. We'll have to see. I've got like a little personal goal for myself. I've always said, and this has always been a goal of mine, that I would love to compete in America, which I know sounds like a very specific goal, but my birthday is at the end of October, and the Olympia is normally start of November, I believe. So this is just a personal thing for me. I would love, I'm saying this publicly now, if there was an opportunity to go to America to compete next year, and it would be, you know, around my birthday, just after my birthday, then go to Olympia. That would literally be making a 12-year-old George's dream come true, because I've been following bodybuilding since a very young age. You know, watching Pump and Iron back in the day, like all of these things. So that would be phenomenal for me. It really, really would. The only downside to this is I've got one of my best friends' wedding next year in October, and that's in Greece. I've also got one of my best friends' stag in Las Vegas, which I think is August. Plus, of course, there's always going to be like socials that pop up. I don't think people realise this. Like, I'm actually a very, very sociable person, and I think that it's probably one of the big reasons why I've never committed to actually stepping on stages, because I have no problem dieting. I can deal with hunger. I touch wood. I don't want to blow my own trumpet. I'm very good at handling hunger. I'm not very good at handling bad sleep. I will admit that. Like, when I slept like shit, I'm a fucking angry, moany bastard. But food, I can cope with food. So it's just a matter of managing sleep. It's ironically, I had a bad night's sleep last night. What was I going to say? So yeah, those are the shows back end of the year. There are, of course, going to be a lot of sacrifices. At the minute, like I say, we're on 2,500 calories, which is pretty fucking low, considering we're in a surplus, but it's the first couple of weeks. So we're just going to gradually build. The number one goal for me personally, this is very much like a personal goal, but also my coach Joe has kind of said this to me, is that I have a habit post-photo shoot, not of like completely fucking it. I've never gone full blown, hit the fuck it button, oh my god, I've just ruined my entire off season. However, all of the previous photo shoots I've done, I have had to then go for a mini cut at like month 5, which isn't the end of the world, but we don't have time to do that this time. Like, we don't have time to do that this time. Like, I can't afford to gain, I mean, I'm going to throw a number in the thin air here, but this is like roughly weight I've gained in the past. I can't gain back like 5 kilos in the first month. You know, that can't happen. Or, you know, we can't get to like week 8 of the off season and be like, right, George, so we're 8 weeks into the off season and we're 15 to 18 pounds up. Like, I can't afford to do that. I need to take it steady. I need to take it slow. I need to, you know, bide my time and understand that, yes, the goal is to build as much muscle as we possibly can. Yes, the goal is to put on as much size as we can. But one thing I cannot do, which I've made the mistake of doing in the past, is just completely fucking my off season, getting sloppy, getting lazy, getting tired, and just gaining too much body fat, because it's a harsh reality of so many people where, you know, they're looking to start a prep and suddenly they're thinking, oh yeah, I've got 40 pounds to lose. And I mean, I've never stepped on stage, but I study bodybuilding and I know how this works. Like, believe me, when you think you've got a certain amount of weight to lose, more often than not, you've got another 10 pounds to pull off. So, you know, if we're going into that going, oh yeah, I'll lose 40 pounds, you're going to be like 50 plus, and we don't want to do that, really. In an ideal scenario, I know this may sound far-fetched, and again, it's not, this isn't a solidified goal, but this is just kind of where my head is currently at. It would be incredible if we can go for the entire prep and we're down like 10 kg, which I know doesn't sound like a lot of weight, but that's like 22 pounds. And the reason that we say that, guys, is because, you know, if we're doing like a 20-week prep, and, you know, towards the start, of course, you're gonna have the whoosh effect, but towards the back end, if we're only having to pull off, you know, a pound or less per week, that's gonna be significantly less stress in the body. And again, me and Joe have spoken about this, like, I would far rather be ready early than trying to chase my tail at the end, because as soon as you start to chase your tail at the end, that's when you can really run into implications with poor sleep, poor recovery, poor training performance, losing muscle, stress, like mental stress, physical stress in the body, and we really don't want that. So I guess in a sense, like, I know it's easier said than done, but we almost need to go into the diet with the mentality of, okay, right, this is going to be 18 weeks, 20 weeks, how many weeks that is. I don't think I'm going to go for like a short, sharp prep. Like, I don't think it's going to be like 12, 14, 16 weeks. I think it's going to be more like 18, 20, 22 maybe, just from the conversations we've had. Again, it just depends on where you start. But in terms of the plan, in my mind at least, I'd want to be ready 2 weeks out. Like, that's what we're shooting for. Hence, leaning on the side of simply having a longer prep. In terms of everything else, like, I don't know which shows I'm going to compete in just yet. I think I vaguely saw that PCA got some shows in kind of Birmingham, like Midlands way, down in London, I believe. So I definitely need to go check those out. That'll be fun. And then other than that, I'm pretty open to shows, open to federations, happy to kind of like dip my toe in and try different things. Like, I personally think, like, if it's your first competitive season, I mean, this is just my take on it. I understand obviously it's a strain on the body, but if I'm going to do this, I'm not going to step on stage once. Like, if it's going to be my kind of rookie season, so to speak, I personally can't see myself being one of those guys who's like chasing a car, especially the first year. I mean, Jesus Christ, that would be insane. But like, what I mean by that is like chasing like, right, 4 shows, 5 shows, 6 shows. Like, I've seen people do like 6, 7 shows in a row. For me, I believe my sweet spot, just from what I've like thought and seen, would probably be 2 to 3. I very highly doubt I'll only do 1 show. And what I won't be doing, I will not be doing, and sorry if this upsets anyone, a fucking trial show. That's a waste of everyone's time. Please do not do a trial show to see what your body needs. Yes, mate, you just need to be leaner. Congratulations, you weren't ready. Like, no. If we're going to step on stage, we want to be ready. And then once we do that, you know, we then have 2, 3, 4 weeks, how many weeks between show 1, show 2, to make the necessary adjustments for the judges to then come back with an improved package, you know? So, because obviously every show and every federation, every category wants a different look. You know, some want like a fuller, rounder look, some want a sharper look, some want you to be fucking deep dug inside out, some have more of an emphasis on posing. So yeah, really looking forward to that. In terms of the class I compete in, I honestly don't know. I shocked myself with the photo shoot photos, and no one's actually said this to me, but I was looking at them and I'm like, it's a very men's physique-esque physique right now, which is funny because, I mean, men's physique are awesome, but that's not where my heart is. My heart is probably in classic, if I'm honest with you guys. So we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, that's what I'm looking like in terms of journey to stage. I'll be tracking more data than I can ever manage using my Ultra. I don't know if I mentioned this in this video, but I was recommended an Aura and I got an Ultra instead, because I went in the shop and the guy was like, look, Ultra's way better. Had a look for all the data tracking. This tracks roughly 30 to 40% more. It's fucking phenomenal. It talks you through brain health, it talks you through metabolic health, blood glucose. It will help you with like setting your circadian rhythm, with like caffeine intake and food intake, and it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. I love it. It's brilliant. It really is. I'm not affiliated with them, but if I could be, fucking hell, I would be. So yeah, going to be tracking a lot more data there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to update you guys with, really. I don't think there is. I guess like this off season, I'm fully expecting to be far heavier than I've ever been. I mean, this photo shoot to the last photo shoot, I think I was like 3 kilos heavier. I was way fuller, but still, it's like 3 kilos heavier. I would imagine that, you know, I'd always said to myself, oh my God, if I could get to like mid-80s lean, then my life is complete. I think that's where I'll be competing, which is fucking awesome, because when I first kind of started in the gym, the first time I ever got like shredded, I think I was like 77 kg. So to know from like literally being a fucking teenager to being a 30-year-old man that I'd actually gained a good few kilos of muscle, it's pretty fucking satisfying, because we all know that muscle is incredibly hard to acquire. So yeah, that would be cool. Anyway guys, I'm going to cut this off here because I'm literally just about to get to Rip Gym Basildon. Got an upper session, have a fucking sick day. This was my kind of update on bodybuilding, stuff like that. If you've got any questions, whack them in the comments below. If you want to see more of this journey of bodybuilding, then let us know. I can definitely kind of do some vloggy bits. Obviously this is very kind of raw and talking to camera. And I'll speak to you guys soon. Take care.